The best music for hard-working people. Get the job done with Radio.
And now your feature presentation.
Hey there, rockers! Welcome to Bands, the Good, Bad, and the Ugly with Dr. Dog on the show where we get real about the ups and downs of band life. Your host, Dr. Dog, is locked and loaded. So let's do this.
Magpie, fuck you.
Ups and downs of band life. So let's get to it. Let's rock and roll.
The song you just heard was Alien Boy by Trashcan Dance. And Trashcan Dance is the doctor's guest. How we doing, guys?
We're fine, thank you.
Thank you, it's good.
Good. It's
good
to have
be
you
on the show.
It's good to have you on the show. So tell us a little bit about yourselves and Trashcan Dance.
Well, you hit it because you're the only original member, except for the drummer.
Yeah. The band started in 2005 as a four-piece band. We played some kind of punk rock, I guess, in the beginning. From that, we've evolved into using keyboards. At some point, we had a keyboard player before, Faust, who plays bass now, but you played keyboards on the last EP. The guys changed instruments, and it's gotten more into this kind of gothic garage rock thing. I don't know. What would you call our music? What does it sound like?
Great.
Genre, great.
It's hard to describe because it's unique. For the doctor to lock you into a genre, then that would be hard for me to do for you guys because you are unique and your music is unique and your sound is unique. So, what kind of response have you gotten about the genre that they think you're supposed to be in?
The word gothic is quite often used in reviews and interviews and stuff. But that's just a part of it. I'd say it's more to do with the visual, the image side of things. And it's easy to call, snotty music punk rock. But for me, punk rock is kind of more, it's got the political vibe. While the thing we are doing is more in the like horror rock, shock rock thing. So it's a bit of a combination of different genres, which for me is quite difficult to pinpoint.
See, that's what the doctor was saying. I would, if you had to make me give you an answer, I'd be more like a gothic rock, is where I'd kind of put, if I had to say, if I was forced to say what genre, I'd say put him into a gothic rock, but still that doesn't fit you guys 100%.
No. People usually mention the 80s. It sounds like the 80s. I don't know if it's the sound or if it's because we are all babies of the 80s. I mean, we grew up in the 80s. So 80s is our decade, actually, where we gained most of our musical background, actually. So, sure, of course, the 80s is
a big influence.
Everly present in our music because
it's the usual suspects like Alice Cooper, Kiss, Iggy and the Stooges, Lords of the New Church, Hannah Rocks, Turbo Negro has been a big part of the band since there was two members who were in the Turbo Jugend, the fan club of Turbo Negro. So we played a lot at their parties in Finland, lots of Turbo Jugend gigs. But I personally, I like a lot of music that was made before I was born. Old Stooges and 60s stuff. You like the Doors?
Very much so.
And all
I'm sick in the head. I like there isn't a genre within music where I haven't found anything good in. Perhaps Deutsch Schlager. That's a problem, but I love everything from opera to classical music to black metal.
That's awesome.
Honestly. So I guess that again is what I bring to the table is a sickly amount of backgrounds of things I grew up with.
And when you come up with demos for the others to listen to, some of them aren't even rock.
No, they're prog or some kind of odd The Cure meets Phantom of the Hellish Opera with REM and perhaps Little Pixies.
Yeah, because he writes his demos on like GarageBand on an iPad.
That's cool though. I mean, that's
sure.
Any way you write it and any way you put it down is good. And all the bands that you just mentioned, that's the ones that Doc's listen to. You guys were babies. I was in the clubs playing when you guys were probably just being born or in diapers, so but
you met Morrison and Manzarek in Venice Beach in 1966.
Yeah, I've but while you were talking, I was listening and you're right. You do have a lot of that influence in your music and the 80s music. And I think that's why it's so hard to put you in a genre because it's like gothic, it's like rock, it's a little bit of punk without the messages that punk used to have behind it, the antisocial stuff. So, but again, it's phenomenal. And I'm glad you're putting it out. So tell the doctor, since we're on that music subject, tell the doctor what is your relationship with fellow indie artists and the support that you give and the support you get back from our fellow indie artists? And I want you guys to be honest with me.
Actually, as you probably already know, we're from Finland. It's a very, very small country. I mean, we have less inhabitants in Finland than Manhattan. So we're only 5 million. And even if the metropolitan area is like 1 million inhabitants, there are many bands, but not much, we all need each other.
Yes.
So saying that means that if we go to say we go to Vaasa in Ostrobotnia for a gig, no one there knows who we are actually. So we always make sure that we cooperate with some local band that highlights the evening. So we call our friends from lots of Chernobyl, which is a Vaasa band. And hey, do you have anything this week? And we've thought to come up and throw a couple of gigs. But we want you with me, because no one comes just to watch us. But with them, they have their local, base.
Right.
So, which brings, and same, when they want to come here, or any other punk band, Marco Luponero, whatever they are, they contact us, and then we make stuff happen together.
That's good.
It's pretty difficult to get gigs. There's fewer and fewer venues in Helsinki, at least, and I think this is goes for like London, the great, like every country seems to have problems with venues and rehearsal spaces and everything, and people tend to go out later and later in Finland, which is a problem for the rock bars, since they don't get enough money from people drinking. So it's hard to get gigs and arrange gigs, but the only way to get contacts is by playing gigs.
Yes.
That's where you talk to the other bands you're playing with, and then hey, we have a gig in a couple of weeks. Do you want to join us? Or so it's connecting with other bands is I think the most important part. It just doesn't work to send an email to a rock club. Hey, can we come and play?
Right.
You need to have some kind of package. Like
right.
Usually there's like 3 bands normally playing a set of about 30 to 45 minutes.
And that's why we bunch up with other certain bands. They don't have to be within the same genre, but when they're, a little. So we have this band Vuohipora. We have played with them the last year, almost every gig. And then change a little with the third band. But that's the way, really.
That's
so
smart.
They invite us, we invite them, and that's.
No, that's smart. That's very smart, guys. That's very, very, very smart. And that's the way we used to do it back in the day, when there was no social media, when there was no streaming platforms, no emails, no texts. We had to get out and hunt the clubs and the venues and hook up and either headline or, be the starter band for the bands. And you create a following with their following, and then you create your own following. So the way you guys are doing it is phenomenal. But what about the connection you have, online with other indie artists, bands, things like that? How's your relationship online? Not in person, not with other bands around you, but with the bands on the internet?
Very little, except from, of course, we on social media we follow each other and like each other, and when Vuohipora comes out with the new single, then we make sure that Trashcan Dance as a band account likes it and shares it on our side. Hey, Vuohipora's out with the new single, listen to it.
But those are people we know.
Yes,
those are bands we know.
See,
but we have pretty little interaction with other indie artists or bands that we don't know personally.
But your music's played. But your music's played. It's played on our station. It's played on MM radio, right? This is, and I'm going to go off on a rant here for a sec, guys, because this is something that it's been bothering the doctor for a while, and I've been speaking about it. But to all the independent artists out there that are on MM and other stations, you know what? Fuck you guys, because you're not supporting each other. Okay? Just because you don't know these guys doesn't mean you can't support them. If all the indie artists were to support each other, no matter if you knew them or not, think about how much it would help everybody. And it just doesn't happen. And I'm tired, and I'm glad you guys said what you said, because I'm tired of hearing from my guests, we're a big happy family, we love each other, we support each other, and that's a crock of bullshit. And I see it every day. And you know, you guys have to work twice as hard to get out there, and you're doing it live, which is phenomenal for the Doctor. But it shouldn't have to be that way, guys. You guys should have support from everybody that's an independent artist, that's on the radio, and especially that's on MM radio. And so
I've taken some steps to help other bands as well, since I've released a couple of compilation albums. One was called in Swedish Sparka Rev, Kick Ass, and I had this idea that we would save money to release like a split, Trashcan Dance and another band, or like 4 bands, and then it turned out into this 12-inch vinyl LP with a CD with, was it 16 or 18 bands?
Many.
We had many.
Like punk rock on side A and then more metal on side B.
Yeah,
so
right.
That's true. That's true, yes.
And
cool.
I did another one in 2014, 2015. So by, you know, helping out other bands in this way, and then we share the costs for, you know, pressing 300 vinyls or something. It's not very expensive for each band, but you get a collective thing, and that way you get to know these people better, even though I have just emailed with some of them. But that's a good way to maybe get something back, like they could arrange a gig for us someday, since I took their song on my compilation. And that's kind of old school. It's not very online, but it's I like to do it yourself.
Yeah, sure. And that, actually that sprung out in new contacts with new bands, and we've had a couple of gigs with bands from that compilation album.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
So that was good. Around, I don't know how well you know Finland, but there are two major languages, Swedish and Finnish, and we Swedes live around the coastline.
Yeah.
So we gigged around the coastline with these bands, because most of them were actually Swedish speaking.
Yeah,
that was a thing.
Yeah,
that was smart, and it's the first time I've ever heard a band that I've interviewed, or in general that I know of, have done what you guys just did with a compilation album with so many different bands. That's phenomenal. That's genius, I think.
Some people still want vinyl, so I think if I release a compilation CD, it's not gonna be a great success. If it's released on vinyl, it gets more attention, even though that many people might not buy the vinyl, since most people don't own a record player or a CD player anymore. But some people want the vinyl, even though they don't have a record player, because it looks cool.
Yeah, it does. No,
yes.
it's
our album.
That is that. No, it's phenomenal.
It's beautiful.
It is, and it's still available, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And we're going to get to that towards the end of the interview, of where we can find it, because, you know, Doc listens to nothing but vinyl. All right, that's all I listen to, and so I'm definitely going to be. You're going to see my name coming across for some of your albums, dude, because they're phenomenal. So, speaking of albums and being phenomenal, here's one dropping at you from Trashcan Dance, which is "Go Go Dancer." Good song, guys. That's a great song. Great song.
Thanks.
So, a lot of bands that are on the road that tour and play, they're known for their antics, their late night antics, and their after the show antics, and even during the show and before the show antics. Tell us a little bit about yours.
I think the worst things have been happening when we were a bit younger. And in my case, all the worst things have actually happened with my other band. I sing in two bands. I have an even older band called the Dog Shit Boys.
I love that.
Which is we sing in Finnish and English, and I broken my front teeth with my microphone. I almost choked, got hanged from the microphone cord, and I cut myself with broken glass, and I have the scars to prove it 20 years later. So there's been a lot happening, but if we do that, if we act like that now, it's going to be a really crap gig.
The gig, yeah. But then again, actually, most of the things, I've been in this band for like 12 years now, or something like that. And the former bass player, he was good at drinking too much gin before gigs. So he managed to pass out twice before a gig in vodka. And he forgot that we had gone out eating. So we had just come into the gig place after having a meal. And Dallas was his name. He passed out again the second time. And we were just going, on stage. Dallas woke up.
But he was always brilliant at playing.
Yes.
He's an absolute...
Yeah, but still, he was going out. All the other guys were going on stage. But Dallas was going out from the venue. And Dallas, where are you going? I'm hungry. I'm going to get something to eat. We just ate 40 minutes ago. We just ate, back on stage. So
I was supposed to go back to Helsinki with the night bus along with him. He never showed up, so next day I found out he woke up in a park when there were ants crawling on his face. But these things have happened, and I think I've played a sober gig in the last 20 years, like once, completely sober. So we tend to have a beer or two before the gig and a couple more after the gig. I usually drink something during the gig. If I drink too much nowadays, I forget the lyrics, which fucking nobody cares about in the first place. But when I started, I played the keyboards, but I'm not a keyboard player, so I was so nervous about it that I actually never drank before gigs. Because if you play a wrong note on the keyboard, you can save it. I mean, it's wrong. But with the bass, now I can chill out and have a couple of dark lagers before, because I can save it if I fuck up. But with the keyboard, I never could. Yeah. But as a singer or performer, I have a lot of more opportunities to improvise and do whatever I like. Since I'm not a good singer anyway, but they tell me an interesting performer, and there's always some kind of improvising. I jump onto tables, I sing on the bar table, find the people in the venue who look most scared and go sit in their laps. Look at who's the meanest looking biker in the venue, and go like kiss him on the cheek with some black lipstick, and everybody likes this, so it doesn't matter if I forget a line or something
nobody
while
cares.
singing.
You're the only one
I'm very confrontational.
who curses other. Damn, I forgot the line. No one noticed.
So it's easier for me. I can I can afford a drink or two more than these guys maybe.
All I can say is you guys are totally rock and roll, dude. You're totally rock and roll. And speaking of rock and roll, here's Trashcan Dance with Norman. like that one a lot, guys. I like that one a lot. You have such a unique sound, and it's just great. So, reflecting on the journey, because you guys both have, in a way, separate journeys, and then you guys have merged into your own path and your own journeys as the Trashcan Dance Band. So, reflecting on your journeys, guys, tell me how it's changed your lives. How being in a band and a musician has changed your lives, and then shaped your identity as a musician.
Well, when I was around 13 or 14 was when it all started. I picked up a guitar and started playing, and almost immediately joined one of the first punk bands ever in my, well, what's it? Well, here it's not. I was in 7th grade, but I don't know what that is in the US. But
you were 13.
Yes, I was around 13, and there was, how should I say put it? There was the jocks that played ice hockey and American football. And there were nerds that played, the Commodore 64. And then us, the band guys, the musicians, who were somewhere in the middle, not really hated by anyone, but not really loved by the girls either.
Exactly.
So we didn't get our ass kicked, but we were odd.
Yeah.
And I learned that, that, okay, this is a way to grow up. But then later on, chicks learned to appreciate the rock musician. So we had our own love. But actually, there's a certain brotherhood that, you learn to cope with people in some ways like you, but then in other ways very different from you. And you learn how to work with them, to live with them. And that connection is very, very dear to have, actually. All those hours in these dusty training chambers, practicing rooms, smoking cigarettes, and no, how about that chord? No, how about this chord? Hey, this is really good. And the orgastic feeling when you finally hit that togetherness. I mean, it's amazing, and that's why I still do it. 35 years later.
I wasn't in bands when I was young or in my teens or anything. I started doing this much later than you did, but I've been writing about, obviously listening to metal. I grew up with that in the 80s, and I've been writing. I'm a, should we say, rock DJ myself in Finland. I have a radio show, and I've had other shows earlier as well. So I've been into the scene, going to gigs and festivals since I was 14. I think my first gig I saw was Kiss in 1988 on the Crazy Nights tour. This was my very first gig I ever saw. But after joining my first band, which is still around, it's been such a big part of my life because I don't play any instruments, so I don't write the songs. I just write the lyrics and help out with the arrangements and stuff like that. But I like every aspect of this. I love doing posters. If I wouldn't have a band, I would probably be doing like record sleeves to bands that don't exist. So I love doing this on Photoshop, and backdrops, making and buying silly stage clothes, platform boots. So I'd be playing air guitar for myself with some imaginary band.
You would be LARPing the rock life.
Yeah, and I like everything about it. I love being in the studio when we make an album. The recording process is very interesting, intriguing for me. What will this sound like when it's finished? When somebody who knows what they're doing have mixed and mastered the stuff, and then you hear the difference between the things we recorded at the rehearsal space, which we can identify the song but not the sound, and then when you get the CD or cassette or whatever, you hear this is what we were wishing for. So, and obviously performing live,
Yes.
being crazy.
The thing about it is,
it's a very important part of my identity.
when you can record something and then play it live and it sounds the same, you've reached a magic ingredient and togetherness. A lot of bands can't do that. They'll sound phenomenal on track, and then when you hear them live, it's like, ooh, what the hell's going on? Because it doesn't sound the same because they've over processed it, and then you guys are totally the opposite. So, give yourself pats on the back for that, because what you sound like on your discs is what you sound like, live, and even better live. I always think it's always better live than it is recorded. So, speaking of that, and you guys were talking about being in a cramped, dusty room, smoking cigs, this and that. So tell us if you ever had any creative differences that you had to deal with in the band. And because all bands do. I don't give a shit if they say, no, we're one big happy family. Bullshit. I've been in a band too long to know that's not the way it is. So how do you handle that?
Well, there's these differences that we can't handle, and there's been members like leaving the band. But I'd say that the five of us that are playing at the moment, we've been playing with a new keyboard player who is not on the album. I'd say that we disagree on a lot of things. Usually it's about money, because some things are more expensive than others, Should we make a vinyl? Should we just make a digital release? Should we put like $200 into promotion for it? And one says we should put 200 euros or dollars into promotion on mail, and the other one says no way, it's not worth it. And I think a lot of arguments are based on money, which sucks, but it's a reality that you need to talk about money.
Yeah. But artistically, really, Dr. Dog, actually, I make, say, 65-70% of the songs right now.
Yeah.
And I know that the demo I make on my garage band is gonna change, because it has to change. I'm not Frank Zappa. I don't have that big of balls. So I know Lasse is gonna make something out of this. And Hamilcar, the guitarist, is, so I said, keep the vibe, but change anything else. Yes. The only thing I won't change is the bass, because I'm the bass player.
Right.
So I made this song, and sometimes synth keyboard melodies. I said these have to be as I played them.
Yeah.
And no one has ever said no. I'm not going to play that.
At the moment, we are in a very good place with the band, since we have Norman, the song you played on the show. That was your song, and you wrote the lyrics as well. I put a new verse, I think, something like that.
You made them into your own mouth.
Yeah, and that tweaked a bit, but you had the basic idea and the lyrics for it. And Hamilcar, the guitar player who played bass on the last EP, he makes a little bit more punkish, Guns N' Roses kind of riffs, while you have a little bit more sinister, strange vibes to your song. So we have two main songwriters, and the keyboard player who played on the album, he had some riffs for Alien Loverboy. So before we had there was one guy who wrote the music, and they changed when we rehearsed the demos. They change around more, so it's more flexibility nowadays, which makes it more fun.
And we work differently. First of all, we have the privilege to rehearse at Hamilcar's home. He's got a big house, so he's built a studio.
Yes, we're garage band.
Yeah, we're a real garage band. So we can go there anytime, and we have a fridge always filled with beer, and the sauna is on, and things like this. So let's say that Hamilcar, hey, I got these chords, I got these riffs, let's meet, a Friday evening. And then not the whole band, but say that me and Lasse and Hamilcar, we got some sacks full of beer, and we just chill out and jam.
Yeah. Therefore, we rehearse more often nowadays than before, and that makes the songs better. I think it shows on the Killing Moon album that these songs are a bit different than the things we've done before. They're a little bit less metal and more varied in style, I'd say. So it's pretty important how often and how and where you rehearse. If it's a bad vibe, it's a boring place. You just want to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
But if you have a nice environment, it can be a smoky and dirty, or it can be comfy and cool like the place we're rehearsing at right now. But it's pretty important, at least for me, to have be in a good mood and in a good place.
Yes.
And actually, another thing that has changed into within modern times is no demo is dissed anymore, and that happened before.
What?
I made a lot of songs earlier on.
Dissed, yeah.
But many of them were dissed. We never played them.
Yeah.
Because they weren't, someone didn't like it, so they just were, quieted down. Well, that doesn't happen anymore.
Politiskaya Station, the strange industrial song that ends the album, was released as a single last year, and that's 2022. That was a song that I liked a lot. It was your demo, but everybody in the band at that point didn't like it. So we never got a chance to rehearse it. And then when the pandemic came, we had the opportunity to do something strange with it. And we had this a friend of mine who's got this synthwave band. We sent the demo to him. Can you do something, a collaboration? And we did it. You sang a bit on it. I sing on it, and Hamilcar plays the guitar and the guitar solo on it. But it's like this electronic background track.
Yeah, but we play live nowadays. So it's perfectly convertible into non-digital instruments.
But that's a good example of a song that somebody in the band didn't like it, so nothing happened with it until we changed members. And it turned out good. Yeah. People love it, and some hate it.
Not everybody in the band's going to like something, but I always look at it, it's the majority. Majority rules. I mean, if you got 4 out of 5 saying I like it and one says no, well, that's his tough shit. I mean, you guys have to collaborate as a band, and you have to the ultimate goal for any band, any music, anything that's being recorded is to have it the best it is, plain and simple. And if there's somebody on there that doesn't want to put that into it, then that's their issue. So
I didn't want to sing Go-Go Dancer live because I wrote too much lyrics. It was hard for me to remember the lyrics. There's too goddamn much verbs in it. It's not like Iggy Pop said that you can only use 25 words in a song. But everybody loved it in the band. Everybody loved the song. So
we saw. What can you do? You have to sing. You have to stand there.
I happily learned the lyrics, and now I know them.
Well, I bet you're pretty good, though. If you forget them, you can make them up, though, aren't you?
Yeah. or break something on my head.
Well, spinning on the turntable now is Walpurgis.
I need your dreams, riding the wild horse.
Good song, guys. Good song. So tell the
We
doc.
just put that in the live set. We played it live. Is it once, twice?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. I didn't think that would be a live song at all, but you wanted it. You wanted us to try it on the record release gigs we had, and we tried it out. And I will never take it away from the set list again.
No, it works. It works quite fine. It's an old riff, actually. It's 25 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
But dude, everything in life circles back around, I believe. Everything has a circle of life. Whether it was done in the 60s, 70s, 80s, it's going to come back around eventually. And you having that 80s type, again, punk, gothic, rock sound is bringing that back around like it should be. And I start seeing that more and more, that 80s sounding music is coming back. And people are really, really enjoying it. And how you mix it up.
It used to be the 70s sound coming back with the occult bands,
Yes.
Lucifer and stuff like that. And it's last years it's been a lot of 80s revival.
Yep.
Lots of keyboards.
Yep. That's what you see happening, So tell the doc and the listeners about some of the unspoken challenges, okay? The ups and downs, the hills you have to climb that a lot of the people aren't aware about. And they don't understand what you guys really have to face, because, in reality, when a listener or you tell somebody maybe that you first met, hey, I'm in a band, we play live, we tour, we release albums, they just think about the drug, sex, and the rock and roll part of it. And they don't understand what it takes to get from A to Z. I knew that. I knew you were going to say that. You didn't have to say that. You cover everything. Don't believe me. I know you cover the sex, drugs, and the rock and roll, dude, and that's phenomenal. But so tell the doc, what are some of the hardest challenges that you guys have had to face to get to here?
People who don't play in bands have no idea how this thing works. Guys who play in bands, when you speak to them, we share the same problems, the same issues with social media or printing records or expensive studios and how hard it is to get gigs or get an audience coming to a gig or something like that. But when you speak to people who don't play in a band, they are like, why do you want to make a physical album? Well, I want to press a CD or a vinyl or make a t-shirt so that I can sell them and get eventually something back. Because we don't get anything back from somebody's playing something on Spotify. Right. And they only listen to the singles anyway. So if you put out an album, there's going to be people who listen to the singles and Walpurgis or something that's at the end of the album. Nobody listens to the song.
Right.
And it's very clear that it's good with Spotify and things like that when it's available for everybody, but that's not enough, I think. You need to have something physical as well that you sell at gigs, some merchandise. T-shirts are good, but you need to figure out how many large, extra large, small size shirts do we need. That's hard, and then you end up with 10 of these extra large shirts that you don't get.
That nobody buys.
And you need to think about all of these kind of things. And it's expensive to go to a studio. And then people who don't play in bands say, but you can do it yourself. You just need a computer. And fuck no. It's gonna sound so crap. You need to go to a proper studio, or at least have somebody who knows what they're doing, record it and set up and mic the drums and everything, put a good sound on the vocal microphone. So we're not doing like mumble rap. We could just sit on our bed in our long johns and sing into the coffee machine. And
I've done that too, actually. Yeah. I've done that too. I've got some hip hop things that I do. But that's the hardware aspect of it.
Yeah.
The software is well, it's not a problem actually, but a normal person doesn't know how it feels to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, fighting to find that pen and the piece of paper and write down something you just dreamt of.
Yeah.
Yes.
And my wife doesn't understand me picking up a guitar at 4 o'clock in the morning and striking chords just because I have an idea.
Yeah. But your girlfriends do.
But my girlfriends do. My lovers do. Yes.
Usually, we're from Finland, right? It's freezing in Finland in winter. It's very cold, and when you're freezing your fingers off and you out on you take a walk, I tend to listen to the demos while out walking, and then I write the lyrics on my phone with blue stiff fingers because it's so cold in the winter.
It's a struggle. It's a struggle.
Yeah. But it's and then the thing with all the things you have to carry at the gig, when you finished, everybody, if it's a good gig, there's going to be a lot of people who want to talk to you. I love it. I like to talk to people. In Finland, they're usually drunk. You just want to get drunk yourself, and there's 10,000 things you need to do after the gig, and there's somebody waiting in a car to get the stuff into the car and go home. And that's the point where people are offering you drinks and don't get that you maybe you want to dress and change clothes and carry the drums into the car and stuff like that.
But also, I just came to think of that something normal people do not understand is what it takes for a band. It has happened to us. We go somewhere, but something has been fucked up during the way, so no one really shows up. It's 10 people, in the audience. But still, these 10 people have paid the full price, and we want them to buy merch. We need to be 170% for these 10 people.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we always make sure that we are.
Yeah.
But that takes very much.
That's the hardest part. That's the hardest part.
Really, fuck it. Okay, you're 10, but we give you 110.
Right.
I don't get nervous playing to a large audience. I get nervous when it's a very, very small audience. That's the hardest part of all. But I try to take it like a dress rehearsal and do it in a proper way. We put on the backdrop and the intro tape and put on the stage clothes instead of just do like, oh, fuck it.
We don't compromise live.
No.
We never compromise live.
And it's happened a couple of times that there's a very, very little audience in this bar. But those who are there, they love the gig so much that everybody buys a T-shirt or a vinyl. So sometimes we've got them more. We've got more like money from a gig with this tiny audience than some large gigs where people just don't buy anything.
Actually, there was this old man who gave you 50 euros just because he was so angry that no one had showed up, that he was to support us because we kick ass.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Bucks.
That's awesome.
So,
that's awesome.
Yeah. And that says everything about, not compromising, giving those few who showed up. But it takes a lot. You have to somehow breathe in and breathe out and then kick ass.
You're
The
professional.
worst gig I ever had was with Trashcan Dance. This was a Wednesday, which is a bad day to play
Anywhere.
And there was this rock club in Helsinki called Lepakkomies, that means Batman. And it's a good venue. We played there not in a couple of years, but it's a good place. And I thought that the headliner band, this punk rock band, would draw a larger audience since they were the headliners and we played. And there were like 12 tickets sold or something. At some point at our gig, there was one person in the audience, and then she left.
Wasn't that your wife?
Yes. This is a true story.
I always used to, all you beginner bands out there, always remember the Police with, Sting and the guys. They had 9 people, on their first gig. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to be ashamed.
I think
No.
Kiss had even less.
Yeah.
But then again, at this gig, there was this guy in the second room who had watched the gig from afar, and he liked our music so much that he bought every CD we had, and he asked for the very first album we did in 2006, which was sold out, years ago. And I burnt this CD for him at home and posted the album to him because he liked the song so much, and we just kicked ass. Even though we played at some point at the gig we played just for the mixer.
It happens, right? I mean,
It happens.
it happens. It's happened to every single band out there where they've played to one person, 5 people, 10 people, and sometimes no people. It's just it. But you know what? The thing that I really give you guys credit for, and I hope the bands are listening out there, is you stayed professional. No matter if it was one person, 10 people, or 1,000 people, you've stayed professional when you go out on the stage live. And I think for a band to look out and say, oh shit, there's 4 people out there, fuck it, I'm going to get really drunk, I'm not going to really give a shit, I'm just going to play, crappy, whatever. But you guys go out and give it 150%, like you said. There's 10 people.
I think it's just because I actually do like doing this thing.
Yeah.
I like being a band.
Yeah.
I like these guys. I like being around them. I like doing the songs we are writing. I like performing. And it's not the reason to get a large audience. It's good if we get, but that's not the main reason. So I would never stop playing in a band just because we're not successful. We don't sell a lot of albums, or we don't draw big crowds. You can always play as a support act with some other bands. So you get enough people to have a good evening in a small rock club.
Right.
It's happening. We're all middle-aged men with kids at home. So it's a night out with the guys, and it's fun. And if nothing else, we always have GoPros, around us. If nothing else, then you give a kick-ass concert, and maybe we can make a video of it or something.
Right.
So
Yeah.
never compromise with that.
Otherwise, we, God forbid, we'd play ice hockey or something like that.
Yeah, sure.
I love you guys. I mean, you guys have the same mentality as the Doctor has, which is at the end of the day, at the end of a set, at the end of a club, it's all about the music. And that's what I love about you. It's I don't care if this or this happens. It's about playing. It's about playing with my mates. And I love that, guys. I love that so much about you guys. And in the small villages where you can gather and just have a nice set with some good people is phenomenal. But you know what? Burning up the air right now is Evil Village by Trashcan Dancer.
People act just like they're normal.
Great track. Fucking great track, dude. So you guys again have been in the music scene a while. And we all know that the music industry nowadays is shit deals, screwed up contracts, shady promoters, shady promotion companies. So tell the doctor some experience you've had with that subject.
There's a lot of hoax going around. You get these emails, and then these legitimate companies who make promotion, who offer you promotional deals. You need to be pretty careful and know what kind of music you are making, and what kind of promotion just won't work. I interviewed a band, or he's a solo artist, and he said that his old stoner band paid 2,000 euros. It's about $2,000,
right,
for a promotional package. So the only thing they got out of it was they got on some Spotify playlist for a while.
Yep.
That was pretty expensive. And if there's like 10,000 emails sent out, they need to be sent to the right media,
yes,
like shows like the show you are doing, instead of if they're sending it to like hip hop companies and you play grunge core Gigi Allen styled punk rock, it's you have to be careful where you put your money on all these promotional things they are offering.
Because they all want your money. And
we have no money.
And our email account is full of these, we know you exist, please send some photos and some tracks and something, and then you do, okay, fine, we'll try it. And then comes, hey, pay us $200 to, get on some email.
Yeah. But then again, some of them are cool.
Yes.
Yeah, some of them are cool. Like we got a pretty good deal on the vinyl album.
Yeah.
And this was printed in Estonia. We are a Finnish company. So sometimes you get these offers that are actually good, but it's hell to try to figure out, is this worth putting money into? Should I pay $150 for a very good photograph for the cover of the album, or should I do it myself?
Right.
It won't be that good. Or should I spend like 4 weeks looking at Instagram or something like that for alternative models or photographers? And I found this guy who let us use one of his pictures, because he probably understood that we don't have any money. We're just a little band. But some people want a lot of money, which is not. It's just too much for a small band like us. So there's it's really frustrating for me to find these people who are trustworthy.
Yep. No,
it's hard. It's hard.
There's very few out there, to be honest with you. They're very few, and you're right. They promise the world and they give you shit, and you just spend out a lot of money. And when I promote our band, it's like, I want to know, how many times are we going to be played? How many days are we going to be played? Are we on rotation? What's the rotation like? But they don't tell you, and they won't tell you. And that's the sad thing, is they promise you, we'll put you on 5,000 different streaming platforms or stations, and all they do is send out an email, or like you said, they copy and paste it, send it to a place, you get played once, and you paid $2,000. And bands don't have that nowadays, guys. Unless you're out making money, touring, or you've signed a deal, which is very far in between, you're not making money. Okay, you're being paid on Spotify, what, 0.0000477 for every freaking stream. So to make any money, let's get about 200 billion streams, and we can make some money. That's just unheard of. It's not going to happen.
I just saw an interview with Snoop Dogg, who has, what was it, 2 billion Spotify streams.
Yes.
He gets $45,000 for that.
You see what I'm saying? And this is Snoop Dogg.
For 2 billion streams.
Yeah, two
Someone
billion.
is getting rich, and it's not us.
No. And that's the thing, is that everybody in the music industry is making money except for the artist, especially the independent artist. And but things are changing, guys. They are. I've talked to artists that are getting on with some very young, phenomenal record labels that are letting you be you and do your stuff instead of telling you what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. And so it's starting to come back around. Just like the doc said, everything in life circles back around. It's like that movie for the little kids, the Lion King. Okay, it's life circles back around, and you're going to start seeing a lot of phenomenal things happen out there. And I'm hoping a lot of the snakes in the grass and the ones that are just taking advantage of the musicians and the artists and even the listeners when you go out and buy the music.
There are a couple of very phenomenal record companies here in Finland too. I mean, we're a small country, but I'd like to shout out to Svart Records and to Ecto Records, because they have a philosophy that we do what we like and not what sells.
That's good.
So Svart is the bigger one. They actually make a lot of, they reissued Adam Blessing, if you're familiar with that LA band.
Yes.
The two first, the Damnation of Adam Blessing and the second Damnation. That's Svart Records. They just bought the thing and repressed them. So they do that, and they do a lot of metal things here and punk rock and I think like this, and they do it very small, but I'd really like to be signed by them, but then again, I guess they get swamped by emails nowadays. But there is a vibe, there is a movement.
We're on a Greece label called Sleazy Rider Records, and they're in Athens, I think, in Greece, and they released the album we did and the EP we did before that, and there was a very, very small print of cassettes in different colors, which were done in Hungary
or Poland. I don't know.
No, Hungary.
Okay,
I think. So
those are cool.
A very small run. And there's this company in Finland who's been helping us out with promotion, Inverse Records. And it's a good deal that they get a certain percent if somebody buys a CD or from the streaming money. So they get their share. But without the help of the record company or anybody else, it's almost impossible to do the promotion yourself as a band. You just can't send 1,500 emails. No. It's impossible. We could send like 20 mails to the addresses we find, and nobody will play it anyway. So it's pretty important that there are people who have the connection, and you can make some kind of reasonable deal.
Yes. No, I agree. I mean, connections are the most important thing you can have. During the talk we've had today and listening to your guys, and how hard and how much you put of time and yourself into it, has there ever been a point where you just said, you know what, fuck it, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I already know the answer. I'm not doing this anymore. I've just had it. Did you guys ever reach that point?
I haven't. I've played the classical trumpet since I was 11, and I've never, ever stopped playing an instrument. I've been in many bands. Yes, I've quit bands, but I've never quit music, and I never will. I will take the fucking bass guitar to my grave.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And then again, if you have two bands or more bands, it's if you get annoyed with the others because nothing's happening for a very long time, or the others aren't doing anything, not coming up with any new songs or ideas, then it's good to have the other band. And then, all right, this year I've been playing and rehearsing more with Trashcan, as next year it might be the Dogshit Boys. So that's I'd recommend it. It's good to have many bands, which almost everybody I know in the rock business in Finland and Helsinki have several bands, because then you can take a break from the band and concentrate on the other one for a while.
No, it can work. That can work, having multiple bands. Sometimes it gets a little confusing. It gets a little congested. Sometimes you have, well, I'm supposed to be here, but they want me here. But again, it can work. It can work. And for you guys, like I said, you're total rock and roll. And I knew that the answer to the question before I even asked it, which is, hell no, I've never thought of quitting. I'm never going to quit music. Whether I play in a band or not, I'm gonna go to my grave playing my bass, plain and simple, because it's in you guys. You're not in it for the fame. You're not in it. Well, we all are to a certain point. So everything I'm going to say, we all are in it for it, but it's not the number one thing. The fame, the sex, the drugs, the rock and roll, the excitement you get on being on stage, it's all part of it. But in the end, it's about playing. We could get our band on, like you said, walk into a venue, one person, and halfway through they leave. We're still going to play and have fun. Why? Because we love music, we love our music, and we love playing. And as long as you have that, guys, I look at it this way: who gives a shit if they really like it or not? Because I like it, we enjoy it. It's good music. We know it's good music. And that's all that matters. So when you leave that gig after one person or nobody's left, or you're just playing for the sound engineer or the mixer, you still walk out fucking energetic with all that fucking power and energy that you had if you played in front of 1,000 people. And that's rare, guys. And again, Doctor gives you thumbs up and kudos for that, because that does not freaking happen. And
the best rehearsals are live gigs.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
That's the best way to rehearse is testing out the songs live.
That's the best way. You have that energy connection, which connects to the audience, which comes back and connects to you. So you have an energy that flows from the inside the band to the audience, from the audience back to the band. It's a constant energy flow, which is phenomenal when you can have that. And playing live is the only way you're going to get that. And so that's a warning for all you guys out there. If you have a chance to see these guys live, do it. And headbang to this one by Trashcan Dance, which is Trigger Warning.
Bust your bubble, my hand on your knee.
Freaking love it, guys. I freaking love it. I love you guys. You're so fucking rock and roll. You're the first band that I've talked to, guys, that are completely fucking just rock and roll. I mean, to the core. And I just love that. So, you know, I love your cover art. Okay. I love your cover art. I do. And it's phenomenal. So tell us where we can find your music, where we can find videos, merchandise, especially because the doctor's going to be picking up some vinyl from you guys. And when I order it and you send it to me, I want it fucking signed. You got to promise me you're going to sign it for me. Yes?
It will be.
And I get a signed picture from you guys, right? Because you guys are fucking rock and roll. I don't fucking take one with your fucking phone and send it to me. I don't give a shit. You guys are fucking rock and roll, and I want you on my wall of fame and my legends that I have here in my studio. But you guys are totally rock and roll. So tell us where we can find you, okay? I want to know, where can I find you guys?
The newest album, it's called Killing Moon. It's released by Sleazy Rider Records. You can get it in the States, in Europe, in Japan, South America, all over the world. Just Google it. It's available like everywhere to order. The vinyl, we made a smaller run of. So Sleazy Rider Records has a few, and the Inverse Records in Finland has a few, and the band has vinyls as well, but Inverse Records.
So if I want to buy it, if I want to buy that vinyl, how do I get to it? How do I what website? What how can I find that?
Sleazy Rider Records, which is sleazy spelled with S and Z. Sleazy.
Okay.
So it's misspelled. There's an S and a Z. Sleazy Rider Records.
Hear that, guys?
Or Inverse Records.
Sleazy Rider Records. Okay, we got that.
And you can always email the band, which is trashcandanceband@gmail.com for information. It's extremely expensive to post a vinyl from Finland to the United States.
It is.
It costs over $50.
It's expensive to send from the States to UK to Finland to Europe.
Yeah.
I mean, for a small package, guys, I mean like an 8x10 package, $200.
Yeah,
I know. That's why we recommend that you do it through the companies, because they've got different deals.
Yes.
If you mail the band, we have to send it as a private person, which
Right.
means that all these,
Money.
Trumpian custom things comes again, and EU things and bullshit like that.
Yeah.
So we recommend that you do it through Inverse or Sleazy Rider Records, because they got deals to send things.
Yeah. It's more expensive. It's cheaper within the European Union. So that's pretty okay. And we usually, if there's like a private person, somebody who's ordering something from the band, we usually put some goodies with some older vinyls or 7-inch singles or older CDs. Since we have a few of those older ones left
awesome.
as well.
All right, guys, you heard it. You heard where to find them, and MM and Doctor will be posting that information as well on their posts on social media, as well as at the end of the interview, we'll have that information for everybody, because I'm telling you, the doctor recommends Trashcan Dance highly, guys, and you really have never heard me say that on my show, but I'm telling you right now, check these guys out, buy their merch, listen to their stuff. If you have a chance, go see them live. So the doc wants to thank Trashcan Dance for joining him today. Total rock and roll, guys. You're fucking total rock and roll.
Dr.
It's our pleasure. Thank you, Doc.
You're so welcome, guys. And we'll be talking definitely soon. And listeners, again, check these guys out. They're phenomenal. Doc wants to give a big shout out again to Trashcan Dance for joining them. Also want to thank Dogbone Studio, MM Radio, Magpie Sally, and my tech guru, Matt R., for keeping me on the air. The doctor will be back next week. And in the meantime, guys, be kind to one another. and always keep on rocking and rock Trashcan Dance. Boom. They're awesome, man. Guys, take care of yourselves. Listeners, we'll see you later. Doc's out.
Bands, the good, bad, and the ugly with Dr. Dog. On MMIMM, the show where we get real about the ups and downs of band life.
To infinity and tastiness with MM Radio.